Thank you very much for your comments, for your questions. Some people have asked me about the Philadelphia experiment, about astrology, about predicting the future, about deja vu. Now, obviously, I will try to talk about these, but I have to do it in sequence. But mostly, what I have heard and read is about people having strange experiences. Now, each experience requires its own explanation, so I cannot really get into each individual experience. And after all, who am I to answer you the questions about what you felt and how you felt? I mean, it's something which is very personal. On the other hand, I mean, we cannot change nature. Nature doesn't care what we think, what we like, what we believe. I mean, when August comes, whether we like it or not, we're going to feel very hot. And when February comes, we're going to feel much colder. And so nature moves on without us. It obeys the rules of physics. So whatever we see, whatever we hear, nature cannot change. There could be different explanations why people see, hear, or feel strange experiences, but they are not necessarily paranormal. What we cannot explain is not necessarily unexplainable. Sometimes, or actually many times, it is because we do not have enough data. There was a philosopher once, very long time ago in the 14th century in England. He was actually a monk, a rebellious monk, who was called William of Ockham. And he came up with this kind of dictum, the lex parsimoniae, or it's called Occam's razor, that whenever you have different explanations, go for the one that makes more sense, that is one that is more logical, that is the one that is more possible. So if you hear sounds, it is more possible that they're caused by rats or by pipes crackling or by things falling than by ghosts, for which we don't have any proof yet. So besides that, there was another astrophysicist and writer great in our time, called Carl Sagan, who came up with this idea. Actually, it wasn't just him. Many people came up with this idea, but he worded it in this kind of line: extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So if there is a claim that is strange, that is very strong, I mean, it requires an explanation that is also appropriately powerful and strong. I'm not going to question, for example, if somebody tells me that he came late or she came late because there was traffic. I'm not going to call that extraordinary, because traffic happens all the time. But if that person says he or she came late because there was a number of elephants parading in Floriana, I would actually question that and ask for evidence, because we don't normally have elephants in Malta. And then there are various reasons for people seeing strange things. Not only hallucinations. Hallucinations are it's when you see something that isn't there. And then there are illusions. Yes, I perform illusions. Yes, too. But illusions can be caused in various ways. There are illusions of sound, illusions of sight, etc. I mean, seeing what is there, but in a different way. It is seen in a different way, misinterpreting what we see. Conditioning can cause also these illusions. Let me take a kind of a parenthesis, a bracket here. Let me show you a couple of pictures to show you how we can interpret things according to their conditioning. For example, if you see this picture here, you can see various lines that seem not to be straight. The horizontal line seems to be bent and etc. But in actual fact, if you check them carefully, the horizontal lines are straight. If you look at this picture now, these balls, these spheres, look as if they are different colors, but in actual fact, they are the same color. It's the surroundings that makes them look as if they are different colors. The same thing for these two horses. I mean, they look as if they are different colors. One is darker than the other, but in actual fact, they are the same color. It's the background that changes and gives the impression that they are different colors, that they're different shades. So in actual fact, illusions can be caused by conditioning. Conditioning, also grief, depression, bereavement, etc. And our perception sometimes interprets things not the way they are, but the way we see them. We could catch a glimpse of something to the corner of our eye and imagine it's a ghost. It could be a reflection, you know. Obviously, there are other things that can cause misconceptions, like medicine, side effects of medicine, or even some recreational drugs, or the withdrawal of drugs, or even of alcohol, fevers. I have to say this, maybe you won't accept it, but according to various studies, 4% of the population cannot distinguish between fantasy and reality. Sometimes they have a dream and it blends into their reality, or they read something and it blends into their reality. The brain is very complex, and some anomalies can make us see things that are not there, or misinterpret things. Some changes in our brain structure, which is very complex, I said. To take an example, I mean, temporal lobe epilepsy, which is not a simple thing, it's quite complex, but in certain cases can make some people see visions that are either very supernatural, very divine, very pleasant, or visions that are very horrific. Sleep paralysis, which many people can have, right? I mean, that makes people see things that are very, very unusual, very strange, make them see things that are very strange. Now, we notice also that when we don't have enough data, all right, what we see can be interpreted in various ways. And that's why most ghosts and spirits appear when there is darkness. The more light we have, the more information we have, and the fewer ghosts we see. The more darkness there is, obviously, there is more room for interpretations. So ghosts seem to disappear more easily when there is light than when there is darkness. So nowadays, because we have more lighting, we see fewer ghosts. Now, you may not agree with what I'm saying. I have more to say about this in future vlogs. You may not agree with me. You don't have to agree. What I would like you to do is apply critical thinking. Do your own research. And obviously, you have to choose. I mean, you can watch YouTube. Yes, there are many good things on YouTube, but there are other videos that are not so reliable. So you have to learn how to choose. Adopt your critical thinking so that you are not fooled. I mean, it's important because reality is important for us. Okay, so get your critical thinking caps on, and we'll talk in the next one. Thank you for listening, but don't forget, if you have any comments or questions, you can send me a message, an email. I prefer emails, on shetiko@gmail.com, and I'll try to talk about these topics later on. Thank you.